Well, hello there. Good morning and welcome to the meeting place. I want to thank you for being here with me this morning. And if this is your first time being here on the meeting place, why don't you go ahead, tell me who you are, where you're from, and put in the comments #newbie. And if you are a regular here on the meeting place, go ahead and put in there #legacy. It's all about legacy, right? And today's subject, we are queens. And I'm going to show you how you are a queen if you doubt that. But the thing is, stop hiding. Stop hiding who you are because queens have scars too. Never negate who you are. So I want to tell you and I want to share with you the characteristics of a queen. But first, who am I? I'm Michelle O'Neill, your purposeful living coach and boundary strategies. And I mentor and teach amazing, brilliant, successful, heart centered women on how to create and execute their own unique life blueprint and how to live an extraordinary life. So, Queen, let me tell you, you are strong, you're powerful, you are nurturing, you're caring. There is so much compassion in you, and you're compassionate. You're brave and courageous, and you have such grace and dignity. You're thoughtful and you're a leader among leaders. You're confident and you are resilient. Yes, you're responsible. You're a trailblazer and you're intelligent and you have integrity. You are an influencer. You have impact. You have wisdom and you are flexible. Does it sound like you? If that sounds like you, let me know. Put a 1 in the comments or raise your hand and let me know that is you. You are a queen, but you have scars too. You have scars of disappointment, of being rejected, feeling invalid. You feel sometimes that you're not listened to, that you're misunderstood. Those are scars, the scars of invisibility, of being unloved, of not being cared for or not wanted, of being insulted, disrespected, distrusted, devalued. Oh, yes, we bear the scars of people being aggressive towards us, being taken advantage of, being betrayed. I can't even talk. I am so in this. Good morning, Carmen. Glad to see you here. You feel inadequate, defective, incompetent. Those are the scars we bear of inferiority, of being looked down upon, of being unacceptable. Sometimes we bear the scars of feeling slow, stupid, foolish, silly, contemptible. And these are the negative things that maybe not others say to us, but we say to ourselves. But those are the scars that we hide of fear, of being cowardly, of being embarrassed and humiliated, feeling weak and helpless and defenseless, undeserving of attention or recognition. Yes, my queen, those are the scars that you bear that are hidden. Those are the scars of shame, of guilt, of being a bad person that so many of us carry and we hide day to day. But today we want to say, stop hiding. If you think about the bandages that we have in lives that we cover our scars, there are times that I don't know if you remember growing up when your mom told you, Take that band-aid off, take that bandage off, and you would ask her why. And she'd say, it needs to be aired out. In order for that scar to heal, the air needs to get to it. It needs to be open and brought to light so that it can heal. And that, my queen, is what I'm saying to you today. Show that scar. But I'm going to show you how, and how to do it with wisdom. And let me tell you that our status, it doesn't hide the truth of who we are. I don't care if you're a public figure, an influencer, an author, an entrepreneur. You still have scars that you're hiding and that you're bearing. And that when we don't show those scars, we're living in inauthenticity. And so, just like anyone else, when you're cut, you bleed too. Yes, queens have scars too. And it's time to bring it out to heal. You know, one of the things that brought this on, it made me realize how important it is to talk about this, was one day I was scrolling through the feeds and I was seeing how great we were doing, and I was celebrating my queens and lifting them up. But some of them I've gotten to recently have conversations, whether it's on Zoom, a phone call, in person. I started having these real conversations with my queens and with myself. And I realized that those private conversations, they tell a different story. That's when my queens would bare their souls. And they'd say, you know, everything you see isn't the full story. Everything you see isn't necessarily all the truth. But it's how I want it to appear to the world. And so I have a question for you. How much of yourself are you going to continue to give up? How much of yourself are you continue to hide? Are you going to continue to compromise yourself? Because when you're not living in the full authenticity of who you are, then you're compromising the truth of who you are. But there is a wisdom there. And so your question to me is, how do we have the ability to remain in our power, but at the same time be vulnerable with wisdom? How do we share or know the things that we should share, the things that we can be truthful about and be authentic about, and still remain our power in the eyes of those we serve, in the eyes of those we help? How can we be a queen and vulnerable at the same time? And so I want to talk about two real queens, two queens that was their status. And one queen, Queen Esther, there are some that beg to argue that she wasn't a real queen. But the story of Esther was more about the principle of a woman in power and what she did with that power and how she lived in that power, more than who she was or whether she was real. And so if you know the story of Esther, Esther had to hide where she came from. She had to hide that part of her, what her background was, who her family was, How many of you have ever had to do that? Hide the truth, your truth, of some of the things that you dealt with to be who you are. If that was you, put a 2 in the comments. That you had to hide the truth. Well, Queen Esther had to hide who she was. And so every day she lived with that fear of exposure, that sometimes, some way, someone would find out who she was. And how would she deal with that when she was exposed? And there was a time in her life that she came to the crossroads of, do I live authentically in who I am? Am I bold enough, rich enough in who I am to step out and say who I am? Or do I continue to live in the shadows of my truth? Those were her crossroads. And so one of my favorite sayings in that story was, you were born for such a time as this. We're coming up on a new year. And so I'm asking you, are you ready to step out in the purpose of what you were created for? Are you ready to step out in boldness for who you were created to be at such a time as this? Because you're not stepping out in your purpose. You're not living the life that you were born for. Allows you or causes you to play small. And in some way, somehow, you're not affecting the life and doing the things that you were created to do. So is this your time? If you truly believe that it's time for you to step out in your purpose, if you truly believe that it's time to stop hiding, go ahead and put a 3 in the comment. Raise your hand and let me know this is you and this message is resonating with you. And then I want to talk about a more recent queen, Queen Elizabeth. And I want to talk about the power and the struggles of this modern day queen. You know, status, who you are, doesn't exempt you from your everyday living. Stepping out there and the powerful woman, the entrepreneur, the CEO, the leader, the mom that you are, doesn't exempt you from dealing with those scars that we talked about before. And we have so many scars. We still have to deal with our everyday living. We deal with death of those we love, and they leave such deep scars. And so how do we deal with the scar and still remain in the power? How do we deal with being estranged from our family, as Queen Elizabeth did, but still put on that face every day? It doesn't mean because she was queen and powerful and had to be in the public eye that she still didn't have the privacy and deal with the emotions of her daily life, dealing with the bad family decisions that other people in your family make, and that's reflected on you, and dealing with the flashback or the pain of that. We still deal with that and remain the strong queens that we are every day. But it doesn't mean that you have to hide it. In fact, you're dealing with it and you showing people that you are human too helps them be strong in the things that they deal with. You are the example of living that daily life and dealing with life, but upholding the status and who you are at the same time. One of the biggest commercials that I hate in life is the fact that there's a commercial about resulting and a woman dealing with depression. And as she deal with people asking her how she feels, she holds up this marker with a smiling face and she says these words, "I'm fine." How many times have people asked you, "How are you?" And you said the words, "I'm fine." And you weren't. There are ways of saying how you feel. It's okay to say, and excuse me, it's okay to say, it's not a good day, but I'll get through this. I'm okay, but I'm dealing with something right now. And you know what? You don't have to say what that something is, but you're being real. And right now, I'm not hurting for me. I'm hurting for my queens out there who so many of you are dealing with your daily scars and you're afraid to let them get the air they need so that you can heal. Yes, my sister, and I'm good. My tears are for you. So you ask me, how can I be in alignment with the power and the vulnerability at the same time? How do these two things balance or play out in my life? And so often we have a tendency towards, in order to deal with this, to withdraw, to be in denial. No, I'm fine. I don't feel like that. I'm okay. Those words, "I'm fine." Sometimes we self isolate. Those are such common reactions. We shut down. We cover up. Remember that bandage? We cover up when we need to air out for faster healing. Or we fall into that thing of passivity, being passive, because we're so afraid of being seen as pathetic, too vulnerable, abnormal. Queens don't break down. Queens don't feel. That's a lie. Stop hiding who you are. And so before I get off of here, I want to give you a few solutions because you know that I can't have a conversation with you. I can't have a conversation with you, my queen, without providing a solution, something that you can walk away with and do. So I give you this advice. Be selective in those you share with and how much you share. Remember, I told you earlier that sometimes you don't have to say, "I'm fine." You can say, I'm struggling today, but I don't want to talk about it, but I don't want to go into it. But just know I'm struggling. And your prayers, your encouragement is appreciated. That's all you have to say. You're saying, I'm real. I feel too. And this is how I handle it. This is how I walk strong. Learn to articulate the pain, but not the details. Maintain your dignity in the midst of the pain. And tears do not mean that you are not don't have dignity. I'm not saying fall out all over the floor, but maintain your dignity, my queen. And stop the avoiding and showing and revealing your pain, your scar for what it is. Your scar is a badge of honor of what you dealt with and you have come through. No matter how big the scar is or how small, it's saying this day I have dealt with some type of pain and I've come through, because a scar is a sign of healing. And my sister, my queen, practice self-compassion. Turn the tables on. If you're coaches, if you were coaching someone else, my sister, turn the tables and be compassionate towards yourself. Give yourself the love that you give others. Wear your scar proudly. As I said, own your ugly, because it shows your strength. Wear it with dignity of who you are. Accept the ugly and accept the good. The good of coming out on the other side. If this has resonated with you today, my queen, let me know by placing a 7 in the comments below. You're a queen, a woman of dignity, compassion, strength, and so much more. And for you, I have a special gift. And over the next few days, during this holiday season, and it will end 12 midnight, November 30th, I have for you a gift at masteringyourmonday.life/unlimited, my holiday gratitude special, and how I can help you and we can work together to create the path and the journey for you to have a successful next year. Until the next meeting place, my queen, stand in royalty. I will stand with you. I will rise with you. Stand proud as the queen you are. Be blessed. Go in fortitude and grace. Until the next meeting place, take care.